We are. All
right. So Mike Newman and Chase Neiman here, not to be confused with Kenny Wisdom and Henry Pryor, as your television screen would tell you. We are about to watch a game against our friend Alex with no last name and my dad, Justin Zimmerman. They both have 8 wins. Alex has 2 losses, 2 ties. Dustin has 1 loss, 3 ties. I know Alex is playing a pretty standard plasma build with a pretty big emphasis on basic energy. Dustin is playing his relatively unique Virizion Mewtwo build. We know he plays a Genesect, which most Virizion Mewtwo decks don't play, and I believe he's running a couple Potion.
Potion, sweet.
Yeah.
That did okay in California. I was surprised. Didn't really catch much more steam.
What, Potion?
Yeah.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
It's alright. Decent.
Yeah, they ready?
I don't know. I mean, we're still better looking than them, so we should just comment, like, not show the game and just show us.
Dude, just a bunch of cute hover cats hanging out.
Hanging. Special guest James Cost. It's our in-house analyst, resident analytical
ugly
boy.
Pokemon
Trading Card Game Masters. Top 32. You have 50 plus. You may begin. 0 figure.
Swimming boys dive in and we're good.
All right. So you may remember Alex yesterday. He was Alex Murder at one point and James Koss at one point.
And purple at all points.
He was purple all day yesterday. Unfortunately, he appears to have bathed. So pretty normal looking. Dustin opens Mewtwo and Genesect. He's Skylaying on his first turn. He could be getting out a Beach, an Ultra Ball, a supporter for next turn. We see him checking his prizes first. That's something that Dustin is really good at. Can usually figure out his prizes pretty quickly. I taught him everything he knows. He's going to get an Eviolite with the Skyla. I don't know why, because I don't know anything about his deck. I'm assuming he's just going to Eviolite whatever he's about to search out.
It's probably a poor choice, I think it's safe to say. That's stupid.
So if Dustin attaches a DC to Mewtwo and does 80 to Deoxys, 30, 60, 90. Yeah, so actually, yeah. So now if Alex were to attach a Prism and then Colress Machine, he can't one-shot that Mewtwo. So Skylar for the Eviolite was actually a really good play. It took me a minute to figure out why. But we do know Alex plays Tool Scrapper. We saw one in one of his games yesterday. But that would actually be really huge if he were able to get the surprise knockout. I see the Prism in his hand. So if he has any way to get a Tool Scrapper, he could put Dustin in a really tough spot on his first turn of the game. 2 prizes on turn 1 is nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, it's sweet. I'm really curious of which of these swimming guys is going to win the race. I think it's a clear lead now, but could see a comeback.
I wonder if it's like randomized or
no clue.
So we're going to start using a different goofy timer for every round, thanks to customtimers.net or something. Made that up. Oh my god. Ooh. So
it's Dustin. Yeah, he looks pretty unhappy.
Yeah, I don't blame him. That's insane. That's absurd. That he had all of that in his opening hand. Didn't even have to play supporter for it. I will say, in the kid's defense, it was a pretty risky play on Dustin's part, but, I mean, who would have thought that it could have backfired immediately? So Alex is having an explosive turn 1. I mean, he's taking 2 prizes. He benched 4 Pokemon. Like, I cannot picture a better first turn for him. I know I have a tendency to call games too early, but I just don't see where Dustin can go from here.
Yeah, that definitely hurt him. Like,
yeah, that's absurd.
He went from potentially having a strong start to just nothing.
So we see Dustin trying to cheat by not showing his opponent what he discarded with Juniper. Luckily, Alex has a keen eye and wasn't having that.
In other news, the middle-aged woman has pulled ahead in the swimming race.
It's a metaphor for Pokemon. So Dustin attaches and passes. still just completely in awe at that first turn that Alex had. I feel like Alex might want to raid and knuckle this turn. He can't really one-shot a Virizion, so he's kind of just setting up knockouts at this point. The resistance is going to be kind of a pain, but we know Alex plays Bangle. As you can see, he just attached one to his Absol. I think doing 60 here with the Deoxys could be pretty potent, because then a Kyurem with a Bangle or an Absol with a Bangle and the right amount of bench on Dustin's end could knock out a Virizion. So my friend Justin just asked me how the games are going, and for anybody who wasn't listening the first time, and for him, I'll recap the first turn of the game. Dustin goes first, opens Mewtwo, attaches DCE and Eviolite, and does 80 to a Deoxys. Then Alex, without even playing a supporter, Scrapper, Prism, Colress Machine, turn 1 knockout on a Mewtwo. And then plays a supporter.
Yeah. Chat pointing out we had 4 swimmers when the game started.
Did we lose one? Oh my god.
One dude is getting destroyed.
That guy in the middle drowned. Bummer.
So Dustin will get a Leaf Wallop this turn. That'll Leaf Wallop. An Emerald Slash this turn. That'll be good. Maybe.
I'm really struggling here.
Stop.
I'm trying to read the chat, Dad. Alright, so Alex did end up doing the Thunder Force Spiral Knuckle, whatever, for 60. We're going to see an Emerald Slash from Dustin, presumably onto his Mr. Mime. He's going to search out a Bouffalant first.
Registration is now closed.
I think Dustin needs... I know he doesn't play G-Booster, so he doesn't really have a way to like return a one-shot on an EX and like try to start any sort of exchange. Don't make him reflip that. That's ridiculous. Okay, cool. A little bit of discussion over a coin flip.
Is Dustin a stickler on those, new and really? Or?
Oh, I just couldn't tell.
Okay.
Like, the coin landed on Dustin's discard, and I saw Dustin pointing at it, and they like said something. So I'm not sure. I guess it was Sharky of Dustin to try to reflip it. Whatever. I don't care. Glad he flipped tails. I hate him. So Dustin did play Juniper. You'd think he'd want to be somewhat hesitant about investing into that Bouffalant, just because, as we can see,
but he's not at all.
Yeah, well, something that is worth noting is that Deoxys can kill this Virizion this turn, and then the Bouffalant, Dustin's Bouffalant can return that knockout. So I don't think it's a huge mistake on his part, but I do think he is probably keeping in mind that Alex is going to be attacking with non-EXs more than his DXs. But if Alex wants to take a knockout this turn, which I'm assuming he's able to, he's going to be doing it with the Deoxys. Right. The Skylos for a Juniper, I was expecting him to Skylo for a Switch or a Floatstone, so I'm guessing he already has one in hand, or his hand is so bad that he's willing to just give up a turn to have a supporter next turn. Yeah, so he passes. I see a Floatstone in his hand.
Did you just discard the Juniper?
Yeah.
So why did he? Okay.
Okay, yeah, cool. He figured that out.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And he's getting end. I'm really confused why he passed that turn. I feel like giving Dustin another turn to Emerald Slash is really, really, really unwise. And he had the Floatstone in hand. He could have just retreated his Kyurem and knocked out that Virizion. I could be missing something, but I definitely don't agree with that. What do you think, Chase?
Yeah, I think he probably should have applied the pressure. Maybe not through Deoxys, because that was obviously that Bouffalant was going to come clean him up. But
Oh, I mean, he knocking out that Virizion was just so clutch because now Dustin has 2 more energy. If he attaches one this turn, that's a third. Like, I guess he didn't, but still, like, just one more turn of Emerald Slash is just bad news bears for Alex. I think he might be taking that early lead for granted and underestimating
definitely.
how quickly Virizion can play catch up and just get a bunch of energy out. And because now Dustin's field is like pretty much established, he'll be able to attack with Bouffalant and Genesect long enough to, if he's attaching every turn, he'll have attackers ready. So we might end up getting into a bit of an exchange, and I think Dustin is favored in the exchange, just because. Well, actually, I guess that could go either way. Dustin does only play the 1 Genesect and the 1 Bouffalant, so once those 2 guys are knocked out, he's relying on Mewtwo, which obviously Deoxys makes pretty short work of. So I'm not entirely sure what his game plan is there.
yeah, because he's playing a Mewtwo heavy one.
We're
right?
seeing 2 Colress machines, and this could be pretty relevant because that's 2 Plasma Energy that now won't be on Deoxys. So once the Deoxys on Alex's bench is knocked out, that means there's only 1 Deoxys left that can attack. So that is worth noting that Deoxys only gets the effect of his attack with a Plasma Energy. So as soon as you attach a Plasma Energy to a different Pokemon, that's 1 less time you're going to be able to. That's 1 less Deoxys you're going to be able to attack with. And he failed the second Colress machine, I think, or he did it to the active Deoxys. I'm not sure, but what matters is that he is presumably done Colress machining. His third is either prized or discarded, or for whatever reason he didn't get one, and he's got 2 Deoxys, each with a Plasma, but one that is probably going to die soon, possibly this turn. And that's it, as far as his Plasma Energy goes. So if Dustin can deal with those Deoxyses and then load up a big Mewtwo, that I'm sure that's his win condition. I do think this is anybody's game, almost exclusively because of Alex giving up that big window to knock out that Virizion before Dustin had a bunch of energy out.
Can I just point out how stupid this is?
Yeah, so next to us, we have James Koss and Kenny Wisdom both fishbowling or solitaring or whatever you want to call it, like by themselves, instead of just playing a game against each other.
Next to us, we have Mike and Chase talking about our game, so the game the cameras can see.
They're shuffling.
Man, I hate James and Kenny. Alright, so Dustin is not in the worst of spots here. Well, now he probably is. Holy crap. Well, I guess getting rid of that Plasma Energy is pretty relevant, unless he's just going to Raid and Knuckle it right back, but that's 1 turn of Raid and Knuckling, which is 1 turn he's not Spiral, whatever, Helix forcing. And he didn't Raid and Knuckle, he just retreated and passed. So, Dustin, I think it's not too risky to start attacking with Mewtwo. If nothing else, just to bait out one of those Deoxyses so we can answer it and then just have the one left to deal with. He does need to be careful. Those 2 Deoxyses, if they knock out 2 Mewtwo's, then that's the game. So
Right.
Dustin has to plan out the prize exchange very, very carefully.
Yeah, Alex taking those 2 prizes right off the bat was...
It's insane. That was
yeah.
way too good. We're down to 2 swimmers.
Alright, well...
So Dustin Skyless for a catcher. He's obviously killing the Deoxys. And then that other one is missing a Plasma Energy. So now, I don't think there's any direct threat of a Deoxys attack, but I also don't think it was a huge threat to begin with, because there's no energy on that Mewtwo. So, is Dustin playing a Super Rod? Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think Dustin has the upper hand right now. He's about to take Alex's only 2 energy off the field, and with an attacker that can't be easily responded to. Dustin's at odd prizes, meaning he can kill that Absol really, really easily, and then he needs to take out one more EX to win. And suddenly he turned one of the most ridiculous starts I've ever seen in a game of Pokemon into a potential winning situation. So it goes to show how fragile a board state can be, and how one, in my opinion, misplay can completely turn the tides of a game that was going your way.
Yeah, and we're really seeing the good play of a third-place finisher from Justin ZImmerman.
I mean, he definitely, you can tell that ZImmerman is just on top of his game. He well-deserved third-place finish this year at Worlds. He's on top of things.
Yeah, definitely. One of the best.
So he's going to chorus for a humongous amount of cards. And Alex is going to shuffle his deck, which is annoying.
What does that Tropius do? Is it call for family?
His first attack is draw till you have 6. His second attack is the same as Leafeon's, except...
oh, that's kind of neat.
Oh, actually, no. I think his second attack is more... It's like energy press, like it's only on the defending.
Alright. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think you just benched that for Colress's sake? Like,
I would assume so. I think the laser there was critical. All right, so Alex scoops into game 2, which I am more than willing to admit that I'm wrong. I did not see Dustin winning that game after that first turn. So Alex lost a lot of steam. He missed a pretty crucial point to keep his board position superior, and Dustin capitalized like the great player that he is, and he goes up game 1. What do you think, Chase?
I think Dustin's name is really hard to fit on a stream frame.
Sorry, Dad.
Especially when you have to put in 1 next to it, on top of it. Justin ZImmerman.
So they're shuffling up for game 2. Should just be a minute or so. There are 34 minutes left in the round, so they're definitely on track to finish 3 games if it comes to that. I feel like the matchup is pretty even, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's a very even matchup. I mean, Virizion's obviously a little slower, but it's much more powerful.
For sure. So, I feel like Kyurem could really give Dustin fits if Alex is able to get one online, and maybe that's something he might want to try this game. Dustin has pretty reasonable responses to Deoxys, but...
Holy crap.
What?
Dude, from behind.
Oh, the guy with the green hair?
Yeah, dude.
Nigel Thornberry? Look at him. Yeah, he's catching up. So anyway...
he came out of nowhere into the lead.
Bouffalant can't really touch Kyurem. Kyurem's weak to steel, so it's not like Virizion or Genesect do a whole lot of damage. So Mewtwo is probably Dustin's best answer to Kyurem, but even that's imperfect because it can be responded to so easily with the Deoxys. So I think if Alex is able to get an early Kyurem and keep the pressure on, that could give Dustin some trouble. But I feel like if Alex keeps trying to go aggressive with Deoxys, he could just burn out again like he did last game. Scratching. Come here.
Alright.
You want to commentate this game with me?
Yeah, alright.
Alright, so joining me in the booth is going to be my dad, Ryan Scott Graham. He's going to help me out with commentary. Chase wasn't feeling too talkative, so we're going to give someone else a chance. So we see Dustin with an identical turn 1. Eviolite and Mewtwo, except this time it's on a Kyurem, which is arguably better for him to try to deal with Kyurems early, since when Mewtwo and Deoxys start knocking each other out, it's going to be more of a war as opposed to setting up knockouts. Did you catch any of Game 1, Ryan?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. That turn 1 was explosive, like you said, for Alex, and I didn't think Dustin had it in him to come back. That was pretty crazy.
For sure. So we do see Dustin do the same thing he did on his last turn 1. So Alex needs a whole lot more to get it to work this time, but it's not out of the question that he could do the same thing again. But as we saw, that actually wasn't all that bad for Dustin. So I think Dustin's start was pretty good. Laser, DC, Eviolite, there are a lot of cards that you would want to see in your opening hand. He was able to attack a Kyurem that had energy on it, so now Alex is like something he's invested energy into has a bunch of damage on it, and just died
And that's a big start for Dustin right there.
for sure.
The looming Kirim is always kind of a plasma staple, so he's got to get another one on the board.
For sure. You always kind of want to have one that's like 1 or 2 energy away from a big blizzard burn just to
Absolutely.
keep your options open and make sure you're threatening that. Dustin's 2 grassy X's are both resistant to water, which make them really difficult for Kirim to one-shot. He need to one-shot a Virizion. Alex would need a Bengal and 4 Deoxys.
And that right there is huge.
So, is it... Oh, wow. Yeah, so Dustin is about to knock out this fully powered Deoxys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see this game ending in like the next 2 minutes.
Dustin is running.
Dustin just
hot.
Needs... All right. It looks like Alex is going to be able to respond to this one.
Yep.
But if Dustin gets a Mewtwo with the DCE and a laser, that's game. And this is what I was talking about. They both went from tied at 6 to 3 to 4 in like 2 turns. The Mewtwo and Deoxys going at each other is really quick. Blink and you're going to miss it. Looks like Dustin has lost a little bit of steam. We see him just like benching Pokemon, not hasn't attached an energy yet. He's going to try to get another Mewtwo going. I'm assuming he's super routing before he plays a supporter, hoping he can draw into it.
Looks like he has something in hand. I'm not sure what it is, but he definitely needs to get a Mewtwo back on the board.
For sure. But he also needs to be careful about getting Mewtwo, like putting a Mewtwo down without attaching to it or anything.
Right.
Or if he does attach to it, because that Deoxys is pretty threatening. He attaches to the Virizion, which I find a little odd. He might be using Tropius as his first attack this turn. I would have liked to see him use Tropius as second attack, just so he could finish up with Mewtwo. But I definitely see where he's going with this, and I don't think that was a bad play by any means.
He must not have a supporter.
Which is pretty sketchy. I guess he wasn't able to play his hand down enough to use Tropius as first attack, which is a bummer.
Juniors and senior video players.
I don't know. I guess this could be anybody's game.
Yeah.
I thought the game was going to be ending soon because I didn't realize Alex had the response to that Mewtwo. But Dustin has definitely lost a lot of steam. He's got the computer search, which is definitely a good thing. Oh, so Mewtwo DCE. If he can computer search for Mewtwo, like if he has a way to get a Mewtwo into DCE this turn, we know he's getting one or the other with computer search, then he's got it. I think I saw an Ultra Ball in his hand. He is playing really fast. I think he looks like he knows he's about to win.
Absolutely.
So he computer searches for DCE, and then he Ultra Balls for... Oh, he computer searched for Mewtwo. He must have the DCE, or Juniper or something.
There it is.
Yep. Oh, he has 3 prizes left. Whatever. I said that was game. I'm a dummy.
Well, even still.
But yeah, I mean, that's a very decisive moment, and very well could spell the end of the game. But
it doesn't look like he has a supporter in hand.
The fat lady remains silent for the time being.
He just...
Where is Zach Dull, by the way? So we see a Raiden Knuckle, meaning Dustin needs just to catch on one of those 90Xs, which doesn't look like he's going to be able to get.
He Junipers.
If he can capture that Absol, he would just need a... Oh, no, that wouldn't work. A DCE and a laser, but that's pretty excessive. I don't really see him winning this turn, but I definitely think he's on track to take this game.
Yeah, when you see Dustin flying, he usually knows
for sure
exactly what's in store.
It's every time we play a game,
I see a DCE in hand.
Yeah. So I'm imagining
he puts the damage on.
I'm not entirely sure why he didn't attach it. I guess he must just not have needed to. I mean, a Deoxys kills him either way, and he could get end. So I feel like hanging on to that or attaching the DCE wouldn't have been the worst play. But
because he didn't attach at all last turn, did he?
He held that DCE instead. He may just have like a catcher kill on the Thunderous or something. Yeah, Skylar for
There's
catcher.
the Skylar.
He's smiling.
There it is.
Owned.
Dustin Zimmerman.
In 14 minutes. Just under 14. Yeah. No, 20.